Okay, welcome to more Genshin Impact. We are in the new version update today. I did do my polls for Navia last night. I will post those to YouTube eventually. I have to edit them a little bit because I used the wrong overlay, meaning I did not use an overlay, which is not good. What is this telling me? Take part in an event from December 20th to January 2nd. Genshin Impact. Oh, the museum thing. Museum thing. Right, and because I have PlayStation Plus, I get this crap. Thank you. Okay. I need everything to stop saying new. Please. Okay. So, essentially, happened last night. We did, in fact, get Navia. It was just a very painful experience. Not ideal. .jpg. And now I have no primo gems, like, at all. So that's a thing. What still is new? Stop saying new, Navia. It is so annoying. It's probably her ascension thing. Let's see. For now, I have her on this weapon. I don't know if we're gonna keep her on this weapon. But, you know, ran out of primo gems, so we couldn't really try to get her weapon, even though that axe is beautiful. But it's all about the gunbrella, so yeah. Ideally, I'm pretty sure you want an attack percent weapon, or crit weapon, because crit weapon. But we're gonna run this. I farmed artifacts for her a little bit last night. As you can see, it didn't really go well. I'm not tied to either of these two pieces. I'm sure we'll be doing that domain like every day for months to come. Such is life. What is this still saying? Oh, I signed in. Yay me. Yeah, that's all that really happened last night. I don't think there are any events that are active quite yet, but we might as well do her story quest today. I don't see why not. There's not really anything pressing I want to do. I have no world quests. Wait, what is that? Oh, this is the Dia thing. That'll happen eventually. Kind of want to do Navia, since today is Navia Day. Let's go for it. We'll start the day with Shimmering Memories, part of the Braving the Tides Together story quest. Why not? I assume this is underground. It was not, in fact, underground, as it turns out. Now we know.
Well, if it isn't my dear partners.
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today. Are you headed somewhere?
Turn the volume up a little bit so you guys could hear her voice better. Let me know if you need it further or if it is too loud, and I will change it. Just getting our daily dose of adventuring in.
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy rebuilding Poisson?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take care of. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court and Poisson.
Should you really be the ones offering compensation?
Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, In my opinion, as the administrators of Poisson, Spina di Rosula should take some responsibility as well. Our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date. Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Oh, spoken like a true president. You're a really responsible leader. That must be taking up most of your time, though, right?
Oh, you bet.
It's probably
Between
for the
that
best, though.
and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting one thing or another. So before I came over this time, I took a page from Melusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off.
And then?
And then, since Malus loved using shorthand, I decided to also follow his example and come up with some shorthand of my own. But after running a few errands in the city, I'm kind of struggling to even read my own handwriting anymore.
The detail on her outfit is insane. When she like waved her hand just there and you could see the lace on her inner palm. My god.
That does sound like you, all right. So what kind of shorthand did you use?
Oh, wanna take a look?
Let Paimon see. Wait. There's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols.
Did you make your
This
own
looks like
language?
A piece of kelp wrapped around a stick. And this other one, is it supposed to be a boar in a box?
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fishermen, while the second one is a reminder to try the new burger that just hit the market.
Wait, Paimon said kelp wrapped around a stick. Maybe it's a legitimate dollar sign. Maybe Navia invented the dollar sign. Hello, Blair. Welcome to stream. Did you get to do your pulls yet?
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Maybe just use standardized shorthand symbols next time.
Thank you for your advice. These are the kinds of things you only really figure out once you've tried them out yourself. I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came up with it, I'd be sure to remember the symbols when I looked at them later. Unfortunately, I've definitely proven myself wrong.
You need to make yourself like an index that lets you know what symbol means what word.
Well, now you know for next time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decipher, but I don't think they're anything too super important. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make another trip.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
You didn't get the chance that you just needed to study physics. Hobby school shop. Oh, I didn't know the Percy Jackson series was up already. Ah, I don't have time for that. Also, what is hobby school? I do not know what that is.
Yep, and that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we talked about the reconstruction earlier, want to come with me and check out the town for yourself? You said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a boat and head over. It won't take long at all.
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not. What do you think, Traveler?
It would be a pretty nice break too.
Then let's go. We'll take a boat over.
Oh, you mean the aquabus, right? Like the Clementine line?
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The aquabus doesn't have a station near Poisson, so we'll use one of the Spina's boats.
Why is one of the text lines golden? If I picked this one, would it like give me an out? Would I not have to hang out with Navia now? But the whole point is to hang out with Navia, so sure, sounds good to me. You really need to wish for your queen. Playing as Navia in that little character test trial thing was so fun.
All right, follow me. I'll take you there.
Her cannons and her gunbrella are the best.
The engineer is still doing a few routine safety checks. We can head out as soon as we get the green light.
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 Aquabus lines are all named after people in your family, right?
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
That your mother went by? Was it not her actual name? Interesting. Spina di Rosula was one of the main sponsors for the construction, right?
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why isn't there even a dedicated line to Poisson? Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a special boat just to go home. Paimon doesn't get it.
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub, so there was no real reason to build a line straight to Poisson. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've already committed to build 3 lines, why not just add a 4th?
Yeah, that's what Paimon's saying. The Aquabus is so convenient, it's really a huge shame.
Well,
And I'm sure it would improve business
what it
there.
is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was going on in his head.
Well, something that big also wouldn't have been just his call. Perhaps the rest of the Spina didn't see a point in having a 4th line.
But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always
Sounds like my
really
kind of person.
stubborn. Once he made up his mind, good luck getting him to change it. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him advice or suggestions, and no farther. That included my mother, too.
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him keep getting his way. He was just... not very agreeable.
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right, then let's head out.
Boat trip.
It'll be a while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep talking.
Navia, what was your mother like as a person? Oh, Paimon, sorry. She totally forgot that you mentioned before that she passed away during childbirth, so you probably don't remember her at all.
That's all
What
right.
would she
heard
remember
many
if the
stories
woman
about her from the
died
rest
in
of the Spina.
childbirth?
They've always said that they were sure we would have gotten along famously. While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly super cheerful and funny. Their complementary personalities allowed them to make up for each other's flaws. My father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make sure that everyone was happy. Their work made sure that the Spina could grow and thrive.
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic business partners as well.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. It's hard for me to piece together a more complete or intimate picture of her. But sometimes, I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina and Poisson still be what they are today had my mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world. When given a name, a cold, inanimate object can gain a completely new meaning. So, I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea. I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them and must continue to keep moving.
How did the wildlife and the hilichurls and other things survive the flood though from the Archon
fact won't
quest?
change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward.
Do you miss them?
Always. But no matter what, we can't change the past.
What a question to ask. Hey, do you miss your dead friends? Who's gonna say no?
But I tell myself that I need to keep looking towards the future. Everyone, even my parents, have already overcome so many obstacles. Besides, I'm the president of Spina di Rosula. I've got to keep my chin up. We've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new poisson.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right?
I think she's letting her work keep her busy, which is probably for the best. She seems to be managing.
Okay, Paimon supposes you're right. She's really been through a lot. It couldn't have been easy shouldering so much by herself.
Okay. I really need Genshin to give us a yellow or like a more black wind glider so that Navia can use not the default one. Life goals.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon, welcome back to Poisson.
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care of Navia now?
Isn't the Liwa one good? That one's like orange.
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. For the time being, I'll go around without any attendance. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really nice to have him around to help out.
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina. I've got some really big shoes to fill.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Everyone's practically old friends by now. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correctly sized block without knowing the design that we want to use first.
You're commissioning a statue?
What are we making a statue of?
Basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents in commemoration of everything they've done for the Spina and the town of Poisson. But since my father was known as callously unfaithful for the longest time, it would have been too controversial to commission a statue of him. But now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus and everything they did.
Shouldn't Navia be featured with them too?
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe that Boss should have a place on the statue.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the sky with my parasol. Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people.
Make a statue of Navia and let me put it in my teapot. Do it. Well, if that's what you think, I think it'll just be a matter of time.
Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them over to you to review.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me.
Me? Did you just say, hey, you, to the traveler and then only walk like a single step away?
Modeling a few poses, of course. Here, just pretend to be Callus, and I'll be Clementine. Didn't you say on the boat that Callus and Clementine sounded like great partners? Well, then there's no one better to fill this role than my most valuable partner. Florent, let's grab some reference shots.
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
What is happening?
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas?
Shouldn't you be running this show?
Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. It's probably because my idea of them is already kind of set in stone.
I see what you did there.
I want to pick your brain for a bit and see if you can come up with some new and interesting ideas.
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
Oh, I get to actually pick. Imposing, looking out into the distance, or just strike a happy pose. Choices. Let's look out into the distance on the off chance I actually have to look at this statue later. This seems the least weird.
By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon of a captain in their first meet.
Look over there, my dear Clementine. As you can see,
Hi,
every tree
bud.
on that island is dripping with mora fruit.
But there's something off with the composition. This pose makes Mr. Callus look too tall next to the lady.
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan. A statue like this would look fantastic on a boat.
Wait, but we can't do that. Very few people would see the statue if we were to put it on a boat. This statue is meant to be placed in the town.
But then, since we're putting it in the town, the whole point of the pose would be lost.
Oh, okay.
You could sculpt a boat
Trying to
too.
think of something
Duh.
else.
Oh, I have to run through all of these. Fine, then let's be happy.
A happy pose? You mean something like we were laughing together at a funny joke?
Would
No.
all that be able to come through with just a picture?
Would we even be able to tell what they are supposed to be laughing about?
Yeah, and that'd probably be a massive pain to sculpt as well.
Can one of you try striking a pose like you're talking while the other one laughs?
This is not going to come through in a sculpture.
That actually sounds pretty hard to pull off. Forget it, let's try something else.
I guess let's be imposing.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose! It makes me recall Spina di Rosula's glorious golden age.
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too bold and heroic? Was she really that kind of person? If we were to stick with this pose, maybe people would wonder if she was actually the real boss behind the scenes.
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day, but the Spina pulled a few strings and made both the report and the journalist disappear.
Does crossing your arms and smirking really make you seem bold and heroic? Okay.
Oh, Paimon was just kidding! Please don't make Paimon disappear.
What Florent meant was that we asked the journalist to choose a new alias. You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our hearts. Let's try to come up with something else.
Why did she take out sunglasses?
We tried a bunch of different ideas, but none of them felt right. Paimon's all out of brain juice now, too.
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session. and each of them can be considered to be a souvenir in their own right. Let's just keep the ideas we tried as backups. Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with the Traveler, I would have prepared a lot of outfits and props ahead of time. Oh, outfits! Ugh, that's the errand I forgot back in the city. Do either of you still remember that girl? The girl I went to see with you two. Her name is Adele.
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr. Callus's case, right?
I'm glad Paimon remembers, because I sure do not. She always believed that her father, Jacques, was a good person.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. So, after the case, she was finally willing to talk to me, and she told me that she wanted to join the Spina too. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will just have to wait a few years, and then we'll welcome her with open arms. Since she's still a child, though, she thought I was just trying to let her down gently. But how could I get her to believe that I meant what I said? In the end, I came up with an idea. I'd have a Spina uniform made and give it to her as a gift. But I got so busy and distracted in the city that I forgot to pick the uniform up. So I did forget something important after all.
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to pick it up right away.
On the matter of the statue, we should still come up with a few more ideas for the design. I'll have to trouble you to source some for me.
We could have just done that from the start.
Hey, at least this way we got some cool pictures.
Yeah, you're right. They'll have some value as souvenirs at least.